All right, LSU, are you ready?
Ready as I'm gonna get.
All right, let's do it. All right. Ready? 3, 2, go. All right. Talk to me, Sly. Roll Tide.
Oh no! Roll Tide my ass! Roll Tide my ass! Roll Tide my ass!
Roll Tide. Go Tigers. Go Tigers. Go Tigers. That was a good one, bro. That was a good one. Today on American Outlaw, you just saw the video we released on July the 4th, Independence Day, and it's a song, The Last American Outlaw. And it's a little out of character for our page, right? We're typically a GunTuber page. We're kind of making a change because, I think it's good. I think lifestyle and political and just in general how to have a good time in life. And so the country music artist is Trey Gallman. And today with me on the show, I have my buddy, Trey Gallman.
What's up?
What's up, buddy? Thanks for coming to the show.
Dude, thanks for having me in Lubbock. It's just sick. I've enjoyed it.
It's been fun. So we've been shooting a music video for a couple of days, but I thought that you guys might really like to know how we came up with the song, the inspiration of the song, and why we did it. So first off, let's talk about Trey just a little bit. Trey, we're going to forgive him. But he used to play football at LSU. And here on this channel, we roll with the Tide.
Nah. Well, it's all right. We'll let it slide.
But we're all SEC. And so we've had some of the most interesting conversations that I know of that I've had in a while because I got to see behind the scenes of college football with LSU with you about how you got 2 helmets and they painted a helmet every week for you and how they filmed the practices. And if you were messing around, I just thought that was just so incredible. And like, everybody wants to talk about guns when they're with me, and I'm like, let's talk about football. It's weird.
Yeah, it was really cool that, we knew each other before, like we had connected, but it was really cool to spend the last few days going in between locations, shooting our shot, doing some video in here and doing some video in there, getting to learn. Like, I didn't know that you had played ball a little bit at New Mexico State, and like that, as soon as we hit that off, it's like, all right, let's talk shop, let's talk ball. That's, it's a past life thing, but it is cool to bring it back every now and then and just kind of, just talk shop.
Yeah, it's cool. It builds character. It builds who you were. So my time in football was a very small. It was like I wasn't the best at all anymore. And I remember in practice being like, we would hit and I would just get dizzy, and we would hit and I would just get dizzy, and I just thought, man, this is like game time getting dizzy. What am I doing? And it just wasn't fun. So I bowed out way early on. But Trey, you played how long?
I did all 5 years, but I knew that I was done after that. I wasn't going. And that was another thing, like to go back talking about ball, like in Nashville doing the artistry thing and being a songwriter, there's not very many people that can relate to that. Like you said, normally people want to talk about guns with you, people want to talk about music with me. So if it does get brought up, it's like, yeah, it's a past life thing. So it's cool to bring those memories back and talk about, like you were saying, getting your bell rung, and like immediately I go back to thinking about like first day in full pads and just getting lit up, and Quan Alexander being like, welcome to the SEC, dog. This is how we do things here. And just being like, what am I doing here? Like, I don't belong here. But no, yeah, like you said, it's a character thing. It definitely is. I'm proud of it. Don't ever talk about it much anymore, but I'm proud of it. And it definitely helped make me who I am for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love football. I love SEC football. College football has a lot of passion. So to be around a former college player and say, this is a life that I don't know if I'd have ever been good, but at least I could have done. And then I didn't, to get to hear about it is kind of cool. But so let's talk about, you guys are going to want to know how we met. He's in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and I'm in Lubbock, Texas. How did this happen? How did you end up, we met in Nashville. How did you end up in Nashville that night?
So while I was in Nashville, that was right before I had moved to town. So I was meeting with some buddies to find a place to live, and was with some other friends there. And I don't even know, like, my friends didn't know your friends. I think it was all like just happenstance that we were in Losers together, right? And we just bump into each other, and then that's
Well, so I was there with Nate on a business meeting. What was I doing? We were building a machine gun. So we built a M249 saw, Mark 48 machine gun, and a Mark 46 machine gun. You guys have seen it on the channel. And while I was there, I posted that I was in Nashville on my Instagram. Well, my buddy Guy Bonner Jr. and he's a Rolex guy. If you need a Rolex guy, I'm gonna give Guy a plug here. He's top notch, fun guy. Well, he messaged me. He said, "You in Nashville?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "I'm in Nashville. You meet me down here."
Yeah.
And then so we met the fiddle player, Rylan. Yeah, and that's how we met you guys.
Yeah.
And so how Trey and I became friends was I just walked up to him and I was like, "Listen, man, my wife would like to dance. I don't know how to dance. I need to borrow your girlfriend and you to stand out here and teach me to dance." And then you did.
That's exactly what happened. We were at Losers. I mean, it was a long night, but we're at Losers. My buddy Chris Andrucci's playing, and they're just playing some, just playing honky-tonk music. And you're like, all right, you got to show me how to dance. And I stood in the middle of the dance floor. It was just like, all right, this is how you do it. Right here. All right, here's the steps. Spin around, and people are just looking at me like, what is this dude doing? Like, is he for real coaching them on how to dance? Like, hell yeah, we are. Somebody give me another beer. Let's go.
That is a true story, guys. I promise. And so after that, we might have Instagrammed a couple of times, but I was at in Oklahoma City, and I had thought, I can't remember what kind of gun legislation they were trying to ban, and I started thinking back about why the last American Outlaw came up for me. So when I first did my YouTube channel, I branded it completely different. I branded it after a business. And I started YouTube for a totally different reason. I built some belts for the Navy, and I thought everybody's going to buy these belts, and nobody knows because of marketing. And so you just don't know this, and you're learning. And so YouTube's not like my passion. It's becoming something that I'm enjoying a lot more. But I changed it to The Last American Outlaw because that was I wanted to be able to have a chance to tell my grandkids one day that we were the generation that grew up without a cell phone. We were the generation that grew up and everybody didn't think they had to be multimillionaires or super famous. We were home at dark, except for when we went to church. We were allowed to stay out till 9, and just life was just so much different.
The good old days.
The good old days. You wrote a song about it. It's such a good song. But anyway, and then it was like, it reminded me of, I'm in New Mexico, and that's where I was born and raised. And so from Oklahoma, they started the gun legislation. Then I'm driving back, and we're talking about Billy the Kid in Fort Sumner. And, Henry McCarty, I know everybody calls him William H. Bonney, but Henry McCarty was his name. And I started thinking he was the good guy. So he was a ranch hand, and they killed his boss, and the government was too afraid to do anything, so they deputized him. He went out, more money got involved, he got pissed off, and they made him an outlaw. And then you think about Jesse James, they were stealing his land. And I just started thinking, man, the United States government is literally putting it to where everything that I love, they're trying to make it illegal, which is going to make me an outlaw. So fine, I'll take the outlaw title. Right. And so that's the story that I told you when I called you. Right. And then what happened after I told you that?
Well, so when you called me and you gave me that side of the story, we talked for a minute about, this thing of everyone assumes that an outlaw has to be a criminal when that's not necessarily the case. It's just someone who stands up for what they believe in to protect those that can't protect themselves, in a lot of ways. So when we talked about that, I went to the writing room with my buddies that day, Joe Bryson, Parker LeBlanc, and Jacob Pelletier, all three guys from Louisiana. And we had sat down that day, and everybody wanted to write kind of a rock song, and you had told me about writing this. So I said, guys, I've got a song that, I just had a buddy call me. We explained the whole Last American Outlaw thing to them, just the same as you told it to me, I told it to them. And we just kind of sat down and we're like, okay, what does it mean? Some call me a lost soul sinner. Others know the wolf as the savior. You can be the nail, I'll be the hammer. I'm not scared to take it too far. I'm the last American outlaw. And then we just ran with that. And then the whole song just became that embodiment of, it's not like, some people want to talk the talk, other people want to walk the walk. You know, like the lyrics of the song speak for themselves, and what it means to be the last American outlaw, and like what your channel stands for is a lot of the same beliefs that me and the guys we wrote the song together, we believe the same thing. So it wasn't hard. It wasn't a challenge. That song wrote itself super fast because it was like, what do we want to say that we believe in, that we are willing to stand behind? And that's something that not many people today are willing to do, is say something and stand 10 toes down behind their statement. So that was the whole premise of the song. The attitude behind the song when we wrote it was, okay, this is what we're trying to say, and there's not going to be, there are a lot of times when you're writing, it's, well, do we say it that way? Is it okay? Well, what about, and it just 100% was like, no, there is no what if, there is no word. No, you say what you have to say and you stand behind it and you live with that.
So one question, how did the hammer and the nail come up for you?
I don't know. And that's what's funny is when we finished the song and they were like, well, do you think he's going to like it? And I said, I'll send it to him right now. So we actually, funny story, I sent it to you and you immediately messaged back and you were like, dude, you be the nail, I'll be the hammer. I say that in my daily life. I love this song. Cut it. I want it on my channel. And we had just finished writing. We're all sitting there eating lunch. And I looked at the guys and I was like, what's the fastest y'all have ever gotten a cut before? And they're like, I don't know, man, like 6 months maybe. Why? I'm like, we finished this song 45 minutes ago. We just got a cut. I'm like, what? I'm like, we're recording this song 100%. He loves it. And I'm like, let's go. But that was really cool that, you know, back to your question, it was just one of those things, like I said, is what is the embodiment of saying something and standing behind it? You know, you can be a sheep, that's fine. You can be the nail, I'll be the hammer. You know, like they say, give a kid a hammer and the whole world's his nail.
So one of the things for me is the why that was, there's two really big, important parts of the song for me. And one of them is you can be the nail, I'll be the hammer. Before my grandfather passed away, he said, I want you to make sure you're always the hammer, not the nail. And so I have lived with that for 20-ish years since he's passed away. And I've literally lived my life by that. Like, I'm not going to be the nail for you.
Right.
And then so I've literally driven that into my people, my kids, my friends. Like, don't get beat around. And that just seems like what in America we're doing right now is like, we're the nail and they're just beating the shit out of us with a sledgehammer, man. It's like, we don't even know we're getting hit anymore.
Right.
And then the other one that was really important for me was motherfuckers like to talk the talk. Motherfuckers can't walk the walk. Yeah. I've said that my whole life. Like, and we didn't even talk about any kind of, you know.
We didn't talk about lyrics at all. You didn't say, this is what I want to say in the song. You didn't say anything. You just said, you know, this is how, you told me how you felt. And the same thing you just said about your reason for the channel. And so I had seen some videos before, but I really dove into it after that. And I was like, yeah, this is the same shit I'm feeling, right? It's the same shit a lot of America's feeling. A lot of the people that don't have, like, they've got more important shit to worry about than posting on social media or like being opinionated. You know, the people that are still true blue Americans, you know, red, white, and blue, bleed it till they die, is that they've got more important shit to deal with, like paying their bills and putting food on the table for their families, than having to be outspoken and be on the news and getting these arguments with people. So they kind of are the quiet, you know, the quiet ones in the back that are keeping this country running. But it's that principle of motherfuckers want to talk the talk, but motherfuckers scared to walk the walk, you know?
Yeah, I think it's a very powerful line. And I realize some people don't like the choice language. I think you're doing a radio edit.
We'll do a radio edit. It's a radio edit.
I thought one of the cool things was one of my daughters, when I let them listen to the song, she said, Daddy, did you write that song? I said, no, Trey wrote that song. She said, how does he talk just like you? And I'm like, I don't know. And so now that we've been hanging out, talking a bunch more, I'm like, how old are you? 28. And I'll be 44 in a month. And I get a lot of, you know, we hear so many people like, America's done, this next generation's so soft. And I'm like, no, they're not. Like, like, you're everything that I was at 28. Like, you have the same drive and the same passion and the same love for this country. And so I'm like, hey, we still got a lot of hope. The problem with us is we're just like, we're being quiet. We're just letting them hit us like a nail in a nail, and we're kind of going away. And it's time to stand up and say, look, if you're going to make me an outlaw for this, that's fine. But we're going to start telling you we're done.
Right.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, I agree with that. That it's, like looking at even my little brother, he's 21. And when, like that kind of the American dream thing, right? And people like want to say the younger generation's soft, they're this or they're that. It's just the ones that like to speak a lot. The reason I bring up my little brother is like he finished school and he went straight to work. He's a welder. He's a blue collar guy. And you say, well, all 21-year-olds aren't blue collar. Bullshit. Just because what you see every day, that's not like, perception is reality. So like there is still hope for this country. Like, yes, there are things that we don't like that are happening, but it's not too late. Like, rather than say, oh, fuck it, there's nothing we can do about it now. It's just, we're just going downhill, hell in a handbasket. No, I mean, there's still a chance to stand up and make this shit right.
Yeah, there sure is. And it's literally going to take each of us as an individual. And I can't say, is Trey going to do it? I can't say, is Donald Trump going to do it? It literally has to be us that does it. We have to make the change.
100%. And it has to be everybody just pulling their weight. Now, here's the beauty of it is, do we know the answer? No one knows the answer, just like with anything. There is no right or, there is no right answers. We have, like, this is the process for doing this or doing that. It's just simply, like you talked about, we have a lot in common. We come from different places. We're different ages. We've lived different life experiences, but we're cut from the same cloth and what we believe and the way we were raised. And that does still exist. So how do we make that better? You pass that on to somebody else that wants to learn about. And I'm not saying the difference between city living or country living or being a coon ass or a redneck or any of that. It's just the simple principles of everything that we've talked about at this point. If you believe in something, then stand up for what you believe in and pass that down to the next generation.
Amen. That literally is the thing. And that's one of the things that I've been working on is I have so much going on with my businesses that I'm very direct to the point and sometimes forgetting to help bring up the next generation. So in the last couple of weeks, after talking to some friends of mine, I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I'm the age now that it's time for me to be that mentor and help bring the next generation up. And that's a change in my life right now that I'm like, oh, I didn't realize this was my job. And then taking the responsibility of that job is even a bigger thing of like, wow, this is a big responsibility now that I've got to grab these young men and bring them up because there is just the wokeness in America is so rampant that while there is hope because we still have that red, white, and blue collar guy, and he's out there, your brother out there working, there's still the guys that aren't because they don't have the leadership or the mentors in their life.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. You brought up age. I think age is only a number, right? So it's like what you said about where you're at in your life as far as being a mentor and those kind of things. It doesn't matter. A 21-year-old can bring up a 21-year-old, right? A 21-year-old doesn't have to wait till he's 40 to bring other 21-year-olds up. That's kind of what I meant about like sharing your beliefs and not being outspoken in your opinion, but just learning from everyone else. Like that's a thing that doesn't happen anymore. Like you go back to our founding fathers, not everybody was so divisive in what they said. It was like, all right, let's sit down man to man. You tell me how you feel about something. You tell me how you feel about something. Everyone in the room give me their opinion. Then I have my own opinion. Let's hear each other out. And if we're going to agree to disagree, then we're going to do it respectfully. But it doesn't have to be, oh, kiss my ass because you don't believe the same thing as I do. That's not it. Because at the end of the day, like we were talking about, you can hear a bunch of different people's perspectives that might change your own mind and change your own perspective. And maybe one little thing you said helped change that person's perspective. Instead of being so closed-minded, everyone, should be open more to having discussions, and there you can bring your peers up. You don't have to bring just kids up. You can bring someone older. You know, everybody knows it's a bitch to teach an old dog new tricks, but sometimes you want to make the old man listen. You know, it's kind of that age is just a number. It's men and women who believe in the right principles, expressing those principles and trying to live life in a certain way that other people want to follow along with. You know, because like you see, everybody wants to talk about politicians or wants to talk about our leadership in this country in, you know, a certain light. And it's one of those things that lead by example in your own way. You know, like the whole premise of our democracy in our country, it's not from the top down, it's from the bottom up. So if you really want to make a difference in your community, then you start on your community level, you know, in your city, in your town, wherever you are, in your county, in your parish, if you're from Louisiana, and you go from the bottom up. And that's just by living a life and being a good example.
If you will do your job and you will change one person around you and bring them up with you, we'll change the culture of this world.
Absolutely.
All right, brother. So tell me, where can people find you?
We're working on a social media game. I got to step that up, but we're working on putting the YouTube channel together. So that'll be just under my name, Trey Gallman. All social medias, Trey Gallman, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all that stuff. Posting the videos, posting the content. This man knows his stuff when it comes to content. So he's been giving me some pointers. It's been fun to pick your brain about it. But yeah.
So you guys are going to be able to, he will have his channel up by the time you guys see this. So go like, subscribe, give him some love. We need comments. Like YouTube right now is not pushing. That's about all I can say for the current events that are happening. And so it's really hard to stay in that algorithm. If you're watching any conservative channels, they're really dropping. So you got to get in there. You got to get on Trey's page. You got to like, you got to talk to him. You got to comment. You got to tell your friends. And let's have him up there, because I do think this. I went to his concert and I filmed it. You guys should have seen the film that we did, the live from there. When he got off stage, I said, I think you're this generation's Toby Keith.
I'll take that. That's big shoes to fill, but I'll take it.
Yeah, and Toby Keith, in case you guys don't know, Toby Keith took a big political stance to be for America. And a lot of people thought it was going to end his career, but it made him. And it's time for somebody to fill them shoes, and I think Trey's got it.